What is up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today we are getting started with Khabib Nurmagomedov teasing a potential showdown between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. Khabib may have previously shut down the idea of Islam fighting Topuria while speaking to Adam Zabarev earlier in the week, saying the matchup would be a lose-lose situation for the champion. However, the Eagle now seems to be teasing fans about a possible clash between Makhachev and Topuria. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. In a post on his Instagram story, the former lightweight champion shared a picture of a bull with a caption that one user translated as "the bull is coming." Another user claimed the translation meant "he is coming strong." Although Topuria may have moved away from the El Matador nickname and there is some confusion about the exact translation, Khabib's post has fans wondering if something has changed and whether he now supports Topuria getting an immediate title shot. Meanwhile, Mateusz Gamrot does not believe Topuria would have much success at lightweight. Speaking to MMA Junkie, he explained that Makhachev would be too big and too well-rounded. According to Gamrot, Topuria is smaller, and if you want to fight Islam you need to be physically similar to him because he is strong everywhere. Of course, many fans have pointed out that Makhachev had a very competitive first fight with Alexander Volkanovski, even though Volkanovski is not the same size as the lightweight champion. In other news, Khamzat Chimaev is teasing a potential UFC fight with Dricus du Plessis. Earlier today, Chimaev posted a photo of himself and du Plessis on social media, which could suggest that a fight between them is close to being finalized. Nothing has been made official yet. Chimaev also shared training footage on social media, adding more fuel to the speculation that a major announcement could be coming soon. What is up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Netflix CEO breaks silence on potential UFC deal with the UFC exclusive negotiating window with ESPN now over. There has been growing speculation that the promotion could land on Netflix. While speaking to reporters after the card headlined by Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez, Dana White said he would even be open to moving away from the traditional pay-per-view model as part of the UFC Next broadcast deal. However, Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos recently downplayed the company interest in live sports. According to MMA fighting reporter Damon Martin, Sarandos said their live event strategy remains focused only on major breakthrough events and that live programming is still a small portion of their overall content. That said, many fans believe the comments could simply be a public negotiation tactic to lower expectations while talks continue behind the scenes. With the UFC current deal set to expire at the end of the year, the clock is ticking on where the promotion will land next. Merab. Dvalishvili demonstrates how he plans to finish Sean O'Malley when Merab is out in the wild. There is no telling what the bantamweight champion will get himself into. Whether he is diving into frozen water, climbing rocky cliffs, or training high in the mountains, the machine always keeps fans entertained even outside the octagon. Ahead of his rematch with O'Malley at UFC 316, Dvalishvili took to Instagram to show exactly how he plans to finish Suga Sean. Using a tree stump as a prop, the champion delivered a jumping back kick that knocked it over. He then followed up with ground and pound strikes and even added a curb stomp to make his prediction clear. Alongside the video, he wrote prediction for June 7th.
This is Sean, like 6 feet tall, like a tree, skinny tall guy, and this is just machine, you know? And I'm gonna just go around, and BAM! Easy bro, and he's going down, that's it, game over, and still, where is my back? Dana White, please. I'm just kidding.
Heading into the rematch, Merab Dvalishvili has said he wants to test his striking when he shares the cage with Sean O'Malley again. He expects a very different fight compared to their first meeting at UFC last year. Whether he can move to 2-0 against O'Malley remains to be seen. Vicente Luque versus Kevin Holland added to UFC 316. Staying on the topic of UFC 316, the card has received another exciting matchup. It was revealed that Vicente Luque will face Kevin Holland at the event. Holland has already competed twice this year, making this his third fight of 2025. It is a high-action matchup that could have major implications in the division. Let us know your thoughts on the fight in the comments. Dana White releases 4 fighters from the UFC ahead of the upcoming Fight Night card in Kansas City. The UFC has parted ways with several fighters. First is Sung Woo Choi, who is coming off a loss to Kevin Vallejos in March. That defeat dropped his UFC record to 4-7 overall and 1-4 in his last 5 appearances. The promotion has also released Gabriel Miranda following a first-round loss to Jamal Emmers. Miranda went 1-3 during his UFC run, with his only win coming against Shane Young in 2023. Next is Diana Belbita, who announced her retirement after a recent loss to Dion Barbosa. Belbita finished her UFC career with a 2-6 record and ended on a 3-fight losing streak. Finally, Istela Nunes has also been released. After signing in 2019 and debuting in 2021, she went 0-5 inside the octagon. Her most recent loss came against Loma Lukebunmi. Israel Adesanya confirms he plans to fight again. Recently, Eugene Bearman spoke about Adesanya's future following his loss to Nasruddin Imavov. At the time, Bearman said he was unsure what the future held and that Izzy was taking time to focus on himself. However, in a new interview with Submission Radio, Bearman revealed that Adesanya told him he wants to fight again. The conversation happened backstage during fight week for Alexander Volkanovski's recent win. According to Bearman, Adesanya said he feels ready to compete again, though they are not discussing specific opponents yet. While he may be in the later stages of his career, seeing Volkanovski reclaim gold could have provided extra motivation to return and snap his 3-fight skid. Arman Tsarukyan talks about Dan Hooker after Tsarukyan withdrew from his scheduled title fight against Islam Makhachev at UFC 311. Hooker took verbal shots at him during an appearance on Submission Radio. The exchange led to a heated back and forth on social media. Tensions escalated further when Hooker was later forced out of his UFC 313 bout against Justin Gaethje. Speaking on the Jackson podcast this week, Tsarukyan reignited the rivalry, adding more fuel to the ongoing feud between the two lightweights.
Did something happen that we don't know between you and Dan Hooker?
No, we just
that's it.
Yeah.
But
because I know when we're gonna be in one room, he's gonna shut up and just listen me. Because I know, like, these people, they just can talk on the internet, but when they one-on-one, they scared. Like,
how do you see a fight between you and Dan Hooker going?
I'm going there to play, just easy money. But if I beat him, like, it no makes sense fight for me.
Yeah.
I don't need money right now. I need belt. If I beat him, people say you beat like a top 10, or I don't know what's his number. It's no make sense fight. He's not contender. He never beat like a good fighters. He never be on the top 5.
There is still no official word on when Dan Hooker will return to action. During a recent appearance on Submission Radio, Eugene Bearman explained that Hooker breaking his hand and being forced out of his scheduled bout with Justin Gaethje may have actually been a blessing in disguise. Bearman said that Hooker was not fully prepared for the fight but was willing to take it anyway. For the first time in his career, Hooker had been trying to be more strategic about the timing of his fights and the notice he accepted. Despite that, he agreed to face one of the most dangerous fighters in the division. According to Bearman, the injury may have saved him from stepping in before he was truly ready. That he also revealed that Hooker was preparing for the birth of his child and had a specific window blocked off to be present with his family. The sudden opportunity disrupted that schedule before the hand injury ultimately pulled him out of the matchup. Although nothing is confirmed, Hooker has said he hopes to compete during International Fight Week this summer, which is traditionally headlined by a major card from the UFC. Aaron Pico sends a warning to the UFC featherweight division after officially signing with the UFC. Aaron Pico has made it clear that he plans to make an immediate impact at featherweight. The decorated wrestler, who finished second at the U.S. Olympic team trials in 2016, recently appeared on the 4-Pound hosted by Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman. During the interview, Pico expressed full confidence that he will capture UFC gold before the end of the year. With his elite grappling background and growing experience in mixed martial arts, he believes he is ready to challenge the very best in the division. The featherweight roster has officially been put on notice.
I want to be a UFC champion by 2026.
Pinpoint, what guys do you want prior to fighting for the title? I mean, who would it be?
They offered me Movsar. So I look at Movsar and I said, well, who did he fight last? He fought Aljamain Sterling. Who was he supposed to fight? I heard Brian Ortega. So I'm like, okay, well, give me a Brian Ortega or give me an Aljamain Sterling. I have no axe to grind with like any of these UFC guys. Aljamain, Ortega, let's go if you guys are ready to fight.
Think real quick your roadmap to the title.
I wrote down a goal, and I wrote this down maybe 9 months ago. I said I want to be a UFC champion by 2026. I believe I can really do that. They give me the fight, I go on there and do my job, go straight to the title. I want the title. I will go and get a good knockout. Well, why not fight for the title?
There is still no official date or opponent set for Aaron Pico, and a potential matchup with Movsar Evloev did not materialize. Even so, Pico has made it clear that he is targeting big names in the featherweight division. Because Pico is currently unranked, it is uncertain whether top contenders like Aljamain Sterling, who sits at number 9, or Brian Ortega, who is ranked 7th, would be willing to face him right away. Still, Pico has confidence that he can fast-track his way to a title shot. #####Joe Rogan DMs get leaked. Oscar de la Hoya recently shared alleged direct messages from Joe Rogan after claiming that Rogan spoke negatively about him on his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience. The leaked messages quickly made waves across social media and added fuel to the long-running tension between the two. While it is unclear what sparked the initial comments, the situation has once again put both personalities in the headlines.
De La Hoya got fake abs. Have you seen that?
No, wait, does he?
Bro,
Really?
Oscar De La Hoya's got some fake abs.
Like implants?
Yeah, something's going on, man. Oscar De La Hoya didn't have abs throughout his boxing career. Look at him now.
Get the heck out of here.
Bro, what's going on there? Either he's got some fake abs or he's going semaglutide. One or the other. But the thing is, like, his abs don't match his chest or his arms.
That's weird.
Look how defined his abs are.
Like,
Look, they even when he's sitting there, he's like the liver king. Like, look at this here. They're like fully tight. It's like he's not that low body fat. This is why it's confusing. If you like look at his body, like his arms and his shoulders, when a guy has abs like that, generally they're really shredded.
Before we wrap this up, we have a quick favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. We rarely miss a day. Now back to the story. After hearing comments made on the Joe Rogan Experience, Oscar de la Hoya went directly into Joe Rogan DMs to confront him. Rogan responded by saying he has talked about Oscar many times on the show and that he wished the conversation had focused more on his fighting career, which he said he has always respected. He added that he apologized if anything he said was offensive and mentioned that he would be open to having Oscar on the podcast. Oscar replied by accepting the apology, but questioned why topics like fishnets and fake abs were brought up instead of the positive work he feels he has done in combat sports. He thanked Rogan for the invitation and said he would be happy to come on the show to discuss everything. About a month later, Oscar followed up again, saying they could make history with an appearance and that he had a lot of important and insightful things to talk about. Rogan read the message but did not respond. Oscar then shared the private messages publicly on Instagram and tagged Rogan, asking where he was. As for thoughts on the situation, it really comes down to perspective. Some people believe leaking private messages crosses a line, especially after receiving an apology. Others feel Oscar had the right to defend his name publicly if he believed he was being misrepresented. Either way, it has definitely added more tension to their ongoing back and forth.